Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Madox. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. We are well equipped in our litigation and advocacy for the benefit of our clients, corporates, and individuals. Why not visit us at 5 Oakfield House, Oakfield Road, Ilford, London, IG1 1EF. We are just 15 minutes from Liverpool Street Station. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Law Simplified with Justice. I remain your usual regular host. This is Law Simplified with Justice. It's a revitalized program today. A completely whole new program, as you can see on the screen. You have the address of the firm on the screen. You have the telephone number of the firm on the screen. You have the directions of the firm on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this program is the best program, legal or otherwise, you can always depend on. As you know, I bring the very best of the topics and I dissect them. I discuss them. However, I must give this disclaimer that whatever I discuss on this program is not legal advice, or any of my discussants, they are not legal advice. Therefore, you must seek proper legal advice before you can act on whatever you hear me speak on today. I'm so excited to discuss this matter with you because over the years, we have moved on and dealt with much complex cases, serious cases and complex cases in nature, whereby our results have been achieved. And I brought those results from the field to discuss with you. Remember that this program kickstarts your consciousness and enables you to take action. And that is what I'm doing today. This is Law Simplified with Justice. And my name, as I said earlier, remains Justice Madox. I am a solicitor of the Supreme Court of England and Wales, or these days we've changed it to the Senior Court of England and Wales. I'm also a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also a police station and magistrate court to the Solicitor of England and Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, my firm is Tice Madox Solicitors, as you can see on the screen. Tice Madox Solicitors. This is a one solid firm that can deal with all your legal needs. All your legal needs. What you need to do is to pick up the telephone and call the numbers on the screen. I have dealt with so many areas of law in this program, from criminal law to immigration to employment law to contract, and all cuts across commercial contracts. Discuss also properties in this segment when it comes to litigation. I've also discussed family law in this matter, in this program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now different today. Today, I will be talking on and taking on immigration law. The reason why I want to capture this more is because I am here to emancipate our people. When I say our people, I mean those people who are completely lacking behind in terms of their rights. Those who live in this country, the minority, be it the white or the black or the whatever color it is, but the minority who they know their right and the left when it comes to the immigration rules and the legal consequences of their stay in the United Kingdom. It's very vital. The immigration rules and laws have continuously evolved, continuously changing, so dynamic that the moment you open the form today, the next step is completely changed. The next rule is bringing and unleashed by the Home Office. Policies and guidances have changed. There are so many case laws turned out there by the Upper Trade Tribunal, by the Courts of Record, by the High Court of Justice, by the Court of Appeal, by the Supreme Court, by the European Court of Justice. Cases are being turned up, challenging the policies and guidance of the Home Office, challenging the rules of the immigration rules, challenging the threshold and the circumstances of which discretionary leaves have been granted or withdrawn or refused. These cases are there, ladies and gentlemen. And what do we do in this firm? We tenaciously pick these cases, read them, scrutinize them, apply it to your circumstance, and now wait for result. Today, I'll be discussing on the screen, as you see today, private life in immigration law, private life in immigration rules. Private life, it is that sector that is guaranteed under the European Convention on Human Rights, all under the local jurisdiction in the United Kingdom, the Human Rights Act of 1998. Ladies and gentlemen, that European Convention of Human Rights has infused that of the Human Rights Act in this country. And that which means that your rights are guaranteed under the human right. A lot of people know and talk about human rights. A lot of people talk about my right to this, my right to fair hearing, my right to this, my right to that. These rights are out there for you, but some of them are limited. Some of them can be breached without even, in the recent, breaching it. Some can be trampled upon without necessarily breaching it, especially if it's exercised by the Home Office of the government or any agencies acting appropriately under the rules. Private life is that guaranteed and has been infused into the immigration rules to enable you out there who has been in this country for a certain time, to enable you out there whose circumstances fit into these immigration rules, to see whether or not you can use it to regularize your stay. To regularize your stay. Ladies and gentlemen, and you want to regularize your stay, I guess your words, your family, your children, you want to regularize your stay. As a matter of fact, it's the foundation of which you can succeed in this country. The determining factor that you succeed or you fail in this country, be it as a foreigner into this country, is to regularize your stay and to have a legal status in this country. You do it once, you don't do it again. And so therefore your energy, your resources must be geared towards it to ensure that you succeed and you have the right documentations to remain here. I joked about it some time, and I told some people in a seminar I attended, and I told them that even the Bible recommends, the scriptures recommend, that you also obey the law. What does that mean? It means that you must obey the constitutional authority. The authorities of this United Kingdom have said that you must regularize your stay or stay here legally. And it's a good thing to do, even if you have no documentations, you can apply to regularize. That's why he said regularize, which means you may have come in here legally, but along the process, as a visitor or a tourist or whatever category of visa you came in, and that has expired. Now, what you do is either you extend, and if you haven't done none of that, and that extension time has gone, and you've stayed on without documentations, you now move into the category where you have to regularize your stay. The Parliament has come to change the laws in this country, especially in July 2012. The laws that relating to private life, discretionary leave to remain, were all overturned. We are all completely overhauled. And then a new set of laws or policies and guidance were introduced from July 2012. And so some of you who have come through my firm and come through me, you will notice that this law that have changed, it will either assist your case or will not assist your case. The laws have come in to introduce several thresholds that which you must meet, several requirements which you must meet before you could be eligible to apply. Now, these are circumstances whereby the law has provided a private life as a route whereby you can regularize your stay in the United Kingdom. Yes, it is possible. Yes, you can regularize your stay. You can. How will you do that? You may ask me. Some of you are sitting on there with so many cases in their hands, having gone through this process for a long time. Some of you may have been completely disappointed by so many representations made in the past, and you felt there's really no need. Some of you have been advised by other representatives or legal representatives or whatever they are, or friends even, that you have no case. I can tell you that you don't need to quit there. What you need to pick up the phone and call my office. Make an appointment to come to see me. Ladies and gentlemen, law is very dynamic, which means that it has changed in the past for against you. Does not mean that it will not at the same time overturn itself in your favor this time around. There are so many criteria of which we can tackle your case because my firm deals with this, and under my supervision deals with these areas to ensure success is guaranteed. What I need from you is your consistency in your instruction. I need your consistency in your instruction to say carry on with this matter. As long as I have advised you that you have some glimmer of light and there's a light at the end of the tunnel to run this case, it is up to you to choose that option to continue to run with your case. Remember that you will not do it again. You can never be tired to apply to regularize your stay in this country. You can never be tired. The moment you get tired of applying to regularize your stay or seeking advice to see whether your case is much better now than as it was in the past, then that means that you must leave this country. You must return back to your country of origin voluntarily. But if you are not, and if you're determined not to go back and determined to stay on, it is one advice. Push it on and see that you may have some leeway, some technicalities available, some case laws which will support your circumstance to make application. And that is what we do in Tice Madox Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, private life is an arm of the Article 8 of the European Convention of the Human Rights, or the Human Rights Act of this country of 1998, in the United Kingdom. That is the law that enshrined you under Article 8, the right to private and family life. Private and family life. But for the purpose of this discussion, you could see that I completely left family life by the side and picked on private life. Private life has its own requirements and thresholds and criteria which you must meet. Now, the case laws have also turned up to see whether your private life can lead you. Now, as I said to you, a whole new lot of changes in immigration laws or rules came in July 2012, and that has applied to change how many years you will stay on here. How many years are you be eligible to apply, or when you apply, how many years you're looking for to be granted. Now, obviously, for the private life route, when you take it and you're successful, you're looking at a 10-year route. There are so many routes to that. Now, there are also the other different routes to that as well. In terms of the other family law, whether or not you're a parent to a child who is settled, or British citizen, or European citizen, that's a different route entirely. But for private life, which I'm dealing with today, had to deal with, number one, the criteria of which you need to meet to qualify for private life in this country, had to deal with the number of years you've been here, the number of years you've been in this country. How old were you when you came to this country? How long have you spent in this country? So these are the specifications. And now the bullet point under the private life is what is called the insurmountable difficulties, or rather situations and obstacles which will prevent your integration into your country of origin. Now, a lot of people have messed up with that phrase or that line. That line of argument is solid. It's only left for those who are experts, who have dealt with it, and who knows what it is to fill in, to take proper instruction from you in order to fill in, to ensure that there are obstacles, and not just obstacles, and also preventing you from integrating to your country of origin. When I take that instruction, I will jog your mind. It's a detailed instruction. Sitting down in a comfortable space in my office, discussing with you. I'm also bringing out those points under the private life to see whether or not you could benefit from that rule. I said this to you, and I said, there are so many routes of which you can regularize your stay in this country. And part of them, as I'm discussing today, bit by bit, as I roll on this program, next week again, you tune in to listen to the other areas which you may benefit from. But you may not even not to listen. What you need to do is these telecasts for you to get action, get into action, pick up the phone and call the office, make an appointment. I pause there to let you know that if you want to see me in the office, or any of my colleagues in the office, especially if you want to talk to me directly, then you have to pay consultation fee. It's important to stress this because it's important for you to understand. A lot of you will say you've done it in the past, but understand this. It is not the same as when you come to Tice Madox Solicitors to discuss your matters with me. Over the years, I've done this, and those of you who have gone through me have smiled, have cause to give testimony, have cause to glorify God, have cause to be thankful that you've been and come through me. The representation, the advocacy which you will get in the event, in any event, your matter was refused, in any way at all, form or shape, then you will be counting on solid advocacy in your favor, all in your interest. Ladies and gentlemen, when I take on the matter from there to the tribunal, up to the upper tribunal, and if need be, to the Court of Appeal to take your matter further. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand this today. So as I was saying earlier on before I moved into this, to let you know that the private life criteria is a beautiful piece of leeway whereby you must come into it. Private life. You may not know that you have what it takes to come under that criteria. You may not know that you can come under that criteria. You may not know that really your destiny is in your hand to come and make an application to come through that criteria. private life in this country. Now, when I talk about private life, removing human rights, removing the family life, does not mean it's completely entirely taken away. The private life has come under the immigration rules, which means that if you meet the requirement, or you can argue that you meet the requirement, which is what I've been taking you on, I will see whether you meet within the rules. Now, what if you are not within the rules? You may ask me a question. What happens then? Now, that is the beauty of the law. As I said to you earlier, the law is dynamics, means that it could change in any way in your favor. Now, the reason why I said the dynamism of the law is because by the time you meet me and come to my firm and I take proper instructions from you, you will realize that there is something that you have which you have not in any way tapped into, which I will bring it on and I will escalate it and I will use it, expand on it, and bring out case laws, status that assist you to make application in that line. Now, that is within the immigration rules. I will take a brief break and I will return back to deal with what next after the immigration rules if you do not meet within the rules. Stick there, don't change the dial. Justice my name. I'll come back in a moment.
Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Madox. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. We are well equipped in our litigation and advocacy for the benefit of our clients, corporates, and individuals. Why not visit us at 5 Oakfield House, Oakfield Road, Ilford, London, IG1 1EF. We are just 15 minutes from Liverpool Street Station. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello, and welcome back to the program Law Simplified with Justice. I remain your regular host. Before I took that short break, I explained to you that those of you making an application within the immigration rules, which is the private life within the rules. Now, if you apply within the rules and you meet the criteria within the requirements, then fantastic. What next? You're looking for a grant. You're looking for a grant under the 10-year route. Or some of you may come under the 5-year route. Now, whatever it is, you have either the 5 years or the 10 years. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to give you the blow and to give you what will jog your mind on and get you interested is that if you don't meet the rules, now the Home Office is bound to consider circumstances outside the rules. Circumstances which will take your application outside of the immigration rules. So within the rules you meet, which means that the other arms and outside the rules criteria will not be considered. But within the rules, the ones you meet, that will be considered within the rules. Now, within outside the rules is where I want to bring you to your attention. Now, the Home Office or the caseworker, maybe, who will consider this application. Now, let me tell you something about the caseworkers. And obviously, we'll show you it's part of experience, and over the years I've done this. The caseworkers need a solicitor who will guide them. Period. The solicitor needs to guide the caseworker, which is the Home Office caseworker, who is considering your application. Sometimes applications that be refused come to me in terms of clients who've gone somewhere and the application refused, and then they make their way to me. When I look at and I request for the representation made by their former or previous solicitors or legal representative or legal advisors, when I look at the criteria, I will clearly tell them, and it will be very obvious, that the caseworker will not be carried on with this representation, with the way your application has been packaged, because the caseworker is looking at the tick box approach. Do you meet this? It will tick. Do you don't meet this? It will tick. So the tick box approach, which the caseworker applies in your application, determines how he or she is led by your representation. Now, the reason when you come to me is that my representation now on point, very solid, because I am not just writing for the sake of winning that application or being successful, but also in the event of any refusal, I will run with it in the fine argument in the first-tier tribunal to achieve success. Even if I make an application to the judicial review, to a judicial review or permission for judicial review, or even further representation, you can see that when considered by a different caseworker, I am leading the caseworker to give credence to your facts and your circumstances. And that will necessitate a grant, a favorable decision. So, which is what I said, leading the caseworker of the home office is key. And you cannot lead the caseworker if you don't know what you're arguing in your application. But because when you come, this is a benefit you get when you come to Tice Madox Solicitors to deal with these applications for you. Ladies and gentlemen, pausing there to go back into the outside the rules which I discussed with you earlier on. And I did say that the home office caseworker will consider the exceptional circumstances, which is those outside the rules. Assuming you're not within the rules. The exceptional circumstances of your case will be considered. Discretionary otherwise will be considered. Section 3 of the Human Rights Act or the European Convention on Human Rights will also be considered. And also considering your medical, considering your circumstances, considering, when I talk about circumstances or exceptional circumstances, it is so wide. Whether you come under the exceptional circumstance is a matter of fact. It's a matter of your circumstance. It's a matter of what you're going through. Will enable me to pick out those ones to elaborate on your exceptional circumstance, glaring and very conspicuous before the caseworker who will be considering it. On seeing that argument, the caseworker supported by recent case laws, statutory case laws that are judicially noticed. By the time I submit on them, with those case laws and fine argument, a reasonable argument, then the caseworker have no alternative but to consider a form of leave to remain for you. Isn't it beautiful? I say this with all pride and with all assurance that when I argue your matter, I argue professionally. And that is why Tice Madox solicitors are professionals when they represent you. Our client care is quality, is on point. Our argument on your matter, our instruction taking are detailed. Ladies and gentlemen, you must not miss this opportunity when you take reasonable step to advance your step towards becoming a citizen of this country. You cannot become a citizen of this country if you don't take the first step. A citizen of the United Kingdom, citizen of Britain, you want to become that, it takes the first step. The road may look so long for you, so far off from you, but when you take that first step, I tell you, it will become shorter and shorter by day. And you get to the extent where you see yourself applying for your naturalization and then subsequently to celebrating yourself as a British national. It is a good news at the end of the day. It's a good news at the end of the day. But you'll be so glad that you took that decision when you've come to Tice Madox solicitors to argue your case for you and see whether you have a good case or not. But the foundation is key, which is taking that initial instruction, initial advice, initial consultation, whether you have a case that can be built upon or not, whether there's a case that will need to be built on, whether the case that will need to be weighted to be a case you have that needs some time to mature, of which we can use it to make an argument for you. These are the things you will need. These are the things you need. Just one information may change the whole course of your application. But you need that information from those that know what they are doing. Not everybody out there understands what I'm discussing with you today. And guess what? It is not all the circumstances, it's not all the plans, it's not all my strategies that I discuss on this program. You know that this program is to kickstart your attention and get you to take action. When you come to me and I discuss your case, and then I will be applying those criteria, I will be applying those strategies, I'll be applying those rudiments, those ingredients. When you see them, you'll be glad you took the step to come to Tice Madox solicitors. Private life is very wide. And especially those of you who think you are not within the rules. I bet you that you come outside the rules. I bet you that you must certainly come outside the rules. The exceptional circumstance which I mentioned earlier is so huge. The list is inexhaustive, which means that depending on your circumstance, on the fact of your situation, you may come under the exceptional circumstances where I will argue upon. It may be medical. It may be that you're caring for an aged or caring for a vulnerable person. It may be that you have some issues with your home country. It may be that you are on the run. It may be that you have one form of domestic violence against you or not. It may be that domestic violence may be physical or what. Whether you've reported it to the police or not, these are different things I'm jogging your mind on. Whatever the criteria may be, It may be that you've been abandoned here, as I said to you. Then you can come under this exceptional circumstance. But you cannot harness it properly if you don't come to take proper instruction, and to take proper advice. And then I will advise you. And in that case, you will understand that you've taken the right step towards regularizing your stay. So the private life within the rules have so many arms. As I mentioned, those of you who came here at very tender age, who came here even at the age under 17 years of age, those of you who came here at the age of 9, 10, and you've stayed on here. Those of you who've been here for your more than 25 years, and you spent half of your years here, half of your age, you spent it in this country, but you've not spent up to the required 7 years or below that or more than that, or you've not spent up to 20 years in this country, that you may find out that you have something. Some of you have spent up to 14 years, which was in the old rules, you qualify. But clearly the new rules in July 2012 changed the whole course, which means you're not qualified. But as I said, consider the exceptional circumstances which you may fall into. And then I will discuss with you, and I'll find out whether there are obstacles preventing you from integrating back into your country if you are required to leave the United Kingdom back to your country of origin. I will discuss all that with you. It is always a pleasure when I talk about immigration because I am glad because I'm helping someone out there. It is my job. It is my profession. I'm an expert when it comes to that. But however, I derive joy that I have been able to put smile on this family, put smile on this individual. That's what we do. That is why law is a humanity work, in the sense that I muster all my energy, muster all my expertise and professionalism to see whether in your best interest I can key in to get result for you. That's what you get when you come to Tice Madox Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure discussing private life. As you see, the time is always very short to discuss these huge topics, but bringing them to your attention is very key. That is the key, so that you can come and then we'll sit down and take time to dissect your private life, to dissect your private life application to see whether you have a case within the rules or outside the rules. Whatever areas of law, ladies and gentlemen, give us a call. I'll be glad to assist you. Our office is not far away from Liverpool Street, just 15 minutes by train. You get to office. From Liverpool Street, you get us straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure discussing immigration law today, which is private life. And it will come your way again next time. And I'm so glad that some of you have benefited today. If it doesn't apply to you, please pass the numbers on the screen and the address to your friend, whoever that needs us, and they will come in to see me in the office to take a proper instruction from them, and I give them tailor-made, no-hassle advice. Tice Madox Solicitors, and this is Law Simplified with Justice. God bless you. And tune in some other time.
Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Madox. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.